Alright, I didn't do a test run because I do all the Lando stuff online. But I'm sure Cosmic and Tuan tried their best, so hopefully things just work now. Dum bum bum ba da da dum bum bum ba dum ba da 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 dum bum ba da da dum ba da dum bum 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 ba da dum dum bum bum ba 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 da da dum ba ba dum bum bum. My Alt-L doesn't work right now, that happens sometimes, I don't know why. So I can't check the version, but I think I replaced all the things. Yes, 5.0. It still says v4.tuin, but I think I replaced everything, so maybe that's just how it is. Hi Bobbies, thanks for the good luck. So in this save file I have a map stone. That seems like it's an issue. Let me see from where I want to continue playing here. Maybe I just keep the map stone and pretend like I don't have it. So... let me just make a quick manual copy of all the backups I currently have. Thank you for the good luck. Should I just say that already? I'm not sure. Better twice than never. Alright, so here's the story. I had to backtrack, didn't really understand. I also didn't really understand what happened. So Cosmic and Tuan changed something around, I don't know what exactly. So they said it should work now? But I'm guessing by that they mean the map stone is maybe, I don't know. Let me think about this. So I don't think I'm supposed to have this map stone. I think having this map stone is wrong. I just like don't want to do the tricks again, you know? Maybe I should have like thought about this before starting a stream and asked for further clarification. I guess I can look what this is now. If this pickup has changed to something different. Tuan wakes up at like a similar time to yesterday, then we won't have him here for a while. But maybe Cosmic will join and do the explainies on some things. We'll see. Okay, there's not in fact an energy crystal there. Sure. I guess I could spend some time until I wait if Cosmic maybe shows up. on this. The player was warped to R4 because they couldn't reach it with triple jump, storm, and glide. So apparently that is a trick Tuan did not figure out. From, I assume, like here. Okay, I can just glide over to that platform. So let me try around a little bit with that. Just a little bonus trick. Not necessary for the plan though. Oh, hi Cosmic, there you are. So maybe you can help me like on what exactly is like the deal. Yeah, what Spines asks and what I'm supposed to do. So I still have this map stone. I assume this map stone is incorrect. Right? So should I just play like I don't have the map stone or press Alt P? Okay. Do I have to find the map stone elsewhere, or what is the way in which I continue? I should not have the map stone yet, but it's also like not on a pickup I've already collected, I would hope. But read what it says for Alt P. Current node 25 out of 26. Alright, we just got a lot closer to the end, I guess. I should not have the map stone yet. So I should not have the map stone yet, and the map stone is still in a pickup that I can collect. I guess that's what I want to know, because then I'll just play as though I don't have a map stone right now. Or like, I guess the less spoilery variant of the exact same thing is the pickups I collected did not change to something which I need now. Right? Okay. So I'll play assuming that. Is this Plando the Breakening? Well, hopefully less now than before. First thing now I want to check what this is. Yesterday this was Grenade, but apparently a sequence break. So I'm guessing it's not Grenade anymore, or it's now intended and not a sequence break. Either way, I should check what this is. How much damage does your laser deal again? I forgot. 5. That do be strong. Can you drop health? Maybe. Maybe not. Also, hi Epic, welcome, hi Spines. Alright, so summary. I will continue to play with the save file I have, but I will pretend as though I would not have this map stone. Ouch. Well, now the energy crystal is there, sure. I guess I'll take that opportunity to refill. Blup. Blup. Guess you have a pretty good idea what it is. Well, after checking this one, the only pickup left will be L4, so that's like not very hard to guess. But I'll have to see about that. First I want to know what this is now. Luckily the biggest part of that trick is already done. Most of the things I don't have to do a second time. Just the part where I sneak under the rock I have to do again. Oh, don't laser me. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Dum, bum, ba-dum. Oh! Did I not save this? Yes, I didn't save this, huh? I thought I had saved the rock up there. Door is banned, I do remember. Well, I guess we try this again. Bit unfortunate to have to try something again, but what can you do? Surely this is easy, right? Dum bum ba dum bum bum bum. Nope, closer. La 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 la. Banning door warp feels like it makes sense in Upland Randomizer. Kind of surprised I don't see that more often. But I guess you can enforce similar things just through your goal mode without having to ban them. Quite invisible against that background. Yeah, but I don't think the color code works to increase contrast. I guess especially in the laser, I'm just very invisible. Alright, so there were some tricky parts about this, but I definitely would say the most tricky part is to get the rock from here up to that platform. However, I've done it before. It'll work again. Might just take some time. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Whoops. Well, it certainly has disadvantages to be the furthest into a challenge randomizer. This is something other players will hopefully not have to deal with. Alright. But I'm getting it again quickly enough. Yeah. Easy! How did I do this exactly? I think just like roll it barely enough to where it does not unblock the laser. I mean, I did it just to the wrong side. I don't know how I ended up on the right side there, but let's just proceed. La, 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 la. Bum, ba-dum, 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 bum. Warmth restored. Wait, are all the other pickups still warmth returned? And this is warmth restored? What's the background behind that? Well, now I have warmth restored. Can't save here, so I guess I'll just keep that. Cool. Bum bum ba-dum da-dum ba-dum ba-dum bum bum. Ah, there they are! Bog. That's so cool, thanks Cosmic. So these are the custom area names. I mean, I guess thanks refined Spite. I think he helped with that. Grove of Light. Because I also missed some of the area names and some I just forgot. I should do this on the normal map. Spirit's Playground. Grove of Light. What is the word with the Horu Chaos? I'm keeping my save file, which I used. Apparently Cosmic and Tuan did some fix that should work with it. but I am pretending as though I don't have this map stone, because apparently this map stone is somewhere else now. Objective complete node 25. That's a nice touch, but it's not useful. It's also a nice touch though. I especially like these names though, because they're useful to like remember, and they're also really cool. Crypt of the Dead. Sad. Alright, let's go back into the Searing Caldera. Like, it's weird. I realize that the thing that sets this Plandomizer apart is that it's meant to be the hardest one, but I feel like tiny details like this, the map texts, are also something that just sets it apart as a special experience. Objective make progress. Objective retain sanity. I don't think this will work, actually. It would be so nice if this right there just refreshed triple jump. I still can't get up here, can I? At least it's still really difficult if this is possible. Well, guess we gotta go through the Grove of Light. Alright. Now with Glide I can just go over here. Okay, so these I already know. This isn't accessible until I turn in all map stones. And L4 is all that remains. Might make an update that adds some small details to the objective text that corresponds to each node. I'm not sure, like, I mean, if you have ideas, sure. But like, obviously you don't want to make it feel like it's spoilery in any way. I mean, you could just have this say current node 25 instead, and then it would make perfect sense to me. And then it would be useful. I guess that's the same thing as this, just differently phrased. Because I feel like if it says objective, then that reminds me a lot of the vanilla game, where this is trying to help me to get to my objective, and that's obviously not what it's trying to do. So, what is there to do in this room? So there is a pretty cool wall here that's high up. So that's nice. Then I can touch these. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm guessing that's the way to go, because from down here I have the problem that these stalagmites, these pillars rising out of the lava, are insta-kill. The ceiling, however, has a couple obstacles that are just damaging and not insta-kill. Stalagmites. I don't know what a better name for them would be. Welcome, Epic. Oh, you were already there before. Sorry. I think I haven't welcomed you yet, though. Maybe my brain is also just weird today, though. That's also possible. Okay, it'll take me a bit to figure out exactly what the collision there is, because it definitely does not closely correspond to the visuals. No worries, thank you. Oh. So that did not refresh my triple jump. Maybe I just go from this wall. So we do know the platform swing was never intended. I assume not. That was the hardest part about my sequence getting up there, so it's the most likely one where either Tuan didn't know it or Tuan thought no one would conceivably do that, one of the two. Which is a bold which would be a bold assumption in my opinion if you make the hardest plan though. But no idea. So the pickup that was grenade is now just nothing. I wonder if I'm even going to find a grenade now. Oh, that was my triple jump. He didn't know. Okay. Alright. So it's like an actual full sequence break. Just a trick Tuan didn't figure out. To be fair, that was pretty weird. That was a weird one. So I can get to that. That's cool. That seems useful. That's too low, I feel like. Nope, it's fine. Okay, so that's pretty lenient. Good to know. So the entirety of this stalactite... Wait, what's the pronunciation of that?
Stalactite.
I'm doing it right. Okay, cool. I thought I completed 20 meters of the 1 kilometer lava sea, pretty much. It seems like that stalactite universally knocks me, that was my triple jump, to the left. So I can easily attach to its right side, but not as much its left side. I'll have to find some way to work with that. I wonder if this is the entirety of my tool set. Like, are there any, I don't know, spots you can stand on the bottom pillars or something? Maybe I should just see how far I get with that. I could have had Bash by now. I'm not sure about that. Oh. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I think it was literally the Sunstone, the Horu entrance, which was Sunstone and Clean Water, that removed Bash. So that's a pretty hard log. That kind of seems like Tuan wanted to make really sure to take your Bash away. Why didn't I just cheat and collect the bounty? I'm not good at cheating. I'm good at playing Ori. I also don't enjoy cheating, and I enjoy playing Ori. I think there's actually a lot of valid answers and reasons. So I kind of assumed that this wouldn't get very far. And as it turns out, it doesn't get very far. Either I have to optimize that a lot better, or there are like, I don't know, spots to stand on at the ground, I don't know. These tricks were pretty rough I did though. I mean, yes, that's why I'm enjoying it. Else I wouldn't be here playing the thing. Okay. Yeah. The bottom pillars are just insta-kills. Indeed, but like, it would be conceivably possible that there are specific spots in the bottom pillars you can stand on. I don't know any, and I'm not sure I have heard of any, but they might exist, right? For now, there's definitely a lot to optimize with my current strategy going along the ceiling though. Triple jump glide. Kind of cool that that gets over here. Whoops. So one optimization that I also did on my climb upwards to my sequence break. Double jump alone does cancel most of the knockback, but a stomp double jump does the same thing and better. All really to say that this is the first time I've seen, well, Tuan has seen me at full strength. Tuan is happily impressed. I guess, like, specifically in the realm of difficult randomizers, this might be the first time I've been seen at full strength. But I feel like my Ori Will-o'-the-Wisps randomizer tournament performance was pretty close to my full strength as well. Just on a completely different skill set. Oh. I went up too fast. There was no wall left for me. Just pretend it's 10%. But why? Okay, now do that, but refresh the double jump. Oh. Is that enough? Oh no. So I can go even further beyond. Oh, that was not in fact very good. That's Goku, not Vegeta. I'd love to join the conversation, but I don't know either of those figures. But Siruku sounds strange. Just a little bit. Not very good. I can do that better. Dragon Ball references. Goku sounds like Dragon Ball to me, but I know nothing about Dragon Ball except that Goku seems related to it. But yeah. I don't know, what would I do if I just took one damage boost on that stalactite? Is there anywhere I could use a second damage boost? I don't know. If anything there, that might be too far. It was Goku who set the line, and this is to go even further beyond. Alright, then I probably know about what Goku looks like from the "and this is to go even further beyond" emote. So there are in fact some things I know about Dragon Ball. Bum, ba, dum, ba. Do I have to touch that lava stalagmite? Isn't it a stalactite? It's hanging from the ceiling. From the right? Could you just go under and only touch the left side? Maybe if I optimized what I was doing better? The problem is that it knocks me to the left. So if I touch the right side, it knocks me inside the wall part behind the collision and I can easily continue. If I touch the right side, I get knocked away and I don't get my double jump refreshed. If I did a really good stomp cancel, maybe. Stalactite is from the ceiling. Your teacher explained it with tits, cause they also hang. That works. I mean, yes, that works. Hi, Henry. Welcome. Whoops. I am missing one of my jumps. Is the Plando fixed? Kinda. I have to pretend as though I would not possess this map stone. But other than that, it should be fixed now. And the only pickups I haven't collected yet are here in L4, so I'm guessing the new map stone is in L4. And I'll just, like, finish with an extra map stone or something. Okay, I've made the Frankie aggressive. However, there's no way that works. I need some extra steps, some extra strategy here. That's not far enough, because I can't stomp on the Frankie there without taking damage. That's not going to line up. I don't think... no, I can't reach up to this. Grenade isn't in logic as well, I assume. I collected this pickup again after the fix and it had nothing, so I'm not sure Grenade even exists anymore. If it still exists, it's somewhere else. I'm kind of curious, like, what the original intended progression was. So things to do. I guess I can indeed look if there are by chance any spots to stand on in the stalagmites. It's a mystery. Yeah, none of the coming players will ever even know that there was a completely different chain of progression here. Although I guess something pretty suspicious is where this suddenly says 26 nodes instead of 28. So the players that pay a bit more attention might notice that. I feel like now if someone did what I did, that would be so weird. Because, like, they would get into Horu. If I played the Plandomizer in this version initially, I would have gone into Horu. I would have done this difficult trick, got nothing for it, climbed all the way up here, and the only thing I would have gotten would be wind restored. That would probably be kind of disappointing. But maybe other players are also smarter than me and actually do L4 earlier, sorry. If you had to guess, you'd say it was Grenade, Swinging Platform, Aron, Access. But, like, Grenade was already a sequence break, is the thing. But yeah, that might be what Grenade was for. Anywho, what's the plan? This seems like a very lethal pillar of fire, and I'm not sure I'm convinced by the idea that there's supposed to be a safe spot inside it. Like, visually you'd think, hey look, there's like fire, and then there's these spots that look like rock or something, but as usual you have a hint lined up. The ever helpful spines. But the also ever so considerate spines. That doesn't give you the help unless you want to. So I am extremely convinced by the first part. Where I go to here. That seems like a really good starting point. And then... Oh, there is a spot here. That's interesting. The first part is to jump into lava 1000 times, in case there's a safe spot, I guess. So there is a safe spot here, which means I could stay here and heal if I really wanted. And then I could, in fact, get damaged less. Hint god unnecessary. But I'm not sure that helps me, because I'm not sure damage even was my constraint currently. We're just about to type Spicy with Mega Sassy. Maybe a little bit. But your phone auto-corrected it to Spicy and Mega Daddy? Sure. Spines? Now we all know your secret. Your Mega Daddy. Like, what does saving damage there do exactly? If anything. Bum, 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 ba. You got a homemade sub? Well, have a good time then. I don't know if this is useful. Bum, bum, ba. Sounds like tier 1. Just realize how easy it would be to make some kind of joke about Amazon Prime and how it's supposed to deliver you subs. Or something like that. Alright, so I have no idea what I would do with an extra damage boost there, but I guess I'll include that new discovery into my general movement, just in case it will be useful. Whoops. But like, I'm limited by how much height I can get. Not by how much damage I can take. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Are we food bragging now? Alright, what are we food bragging about? Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I would take that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Hmm. That is pretty pog. Or I guess pretty Ori drool. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Are these documents? I like how I just kind of did those storm cancels. That felt pretty good. But yeah, that can be ruled out. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba. Some other component to this. What could conceivably help me here? Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba. If this was somehow not insta-kill, that would conceivably help me. Quad jumps? That would also conceivably help me. Well, I didn't die during iframes. I think insta-kill things usually kill you while you're on iframes. So that might be a positive sign. Or not. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Then multiply the measured value with 1.0. Somehow I'm not sure if that's what you meant to type. Bum, ba. Bum, Bum, it is. Okay. Bum, bum, ba. Dum, ba, dum. Dum, ba, da. Apparently so. Maybe I can refresh my double jump off that while I'm still invulnerable. Dum, bum, ba, dum, ba, dum, ba, dum. I can in fact do that, it's just not very useful. Can I take less damage during that entire thing? Dum, bum, ba, da, da, dum, bum. So how do invincibility frames and insta-kill things work exactly then? Yeah, like, see, that did not wait for my invulnerability frames, that just killed me. Because that's how insta-kill things work. I haven't been able to prove it, but I think that upper stalactite that looks exactly like the insta-kill ones is not in fact an insta-kill one. Insta-kill is insta-kill. Yep. Dum, bum, ba, dum, bum. Dum, bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. Should I even question why this room has an arbitrary collection of insta-kill and not insta-kill obstacles? Oh, but that knocks you back. Indeed, that's the proof though, not insta-kill. As a wise man once said, damage deals damage, and death is death. I don't think that helps me here, but thank you, wise man. So, if that one knocks me to the right, does that mean if I touch it on the left side, that just works? Whoops. I guess that is a faster way of retrying. got a silly idea you don't know will be useful. I think I'm on a pretty straight track to something that works here. Just gotta optimize it. Get the slime's projectile on the first pillar to make it not insta-kill. Well, that's the problem with insta-kill. It doesn't care about your iframes, so it also wouldn't help to have a slime thingy on it. Insta-kill is more than just deal a ton of damage, it just kills you. Ow. Okay. But if I get all the way to the left side of that, I can see how this works. Don't like that one. Oh, apparently I stomped too early. Before I took the damage. That's not how I can cancel damage knockback. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So the thing is, my brain is now wired to try for the right side, because that's what I do on the previous pillar, and I gotta get used to trying the left side on that one. The sub is gone, but did you have a good time? I assume you did. So maybe it is not entirely gone, it has just transformed into a different shape we could describe as good feeling. Yes, Kirby 123. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Whoops. This is a left hand only trick. All the binds I use are on my left hand. Means I can drink my tea during attempts. Quite convenient. Yep. I managed to convince my brain that going to the left side of that pillar is indeed desirable. I wasn't sure whether I had my triple jump there. So that's one mental burden out of the way. Oh. Just gotta not take that damage. So I can play piano and do the trick. Oof, I feel like that would make it a lot harder. Not sure I have that amount of hand independence. I'm struggling to get good knockback cancels here. Like, I still get knocked to the left, even though I think I stomped. Am I somehow pretty regularly stomping before I take the damage? Piando? I suppose so. Just bind your controls to the piano. Wait, how good would that be, actually? Like, mechanically? Well, you'd have the same problem as a keyboard-only player. You don't have a mouse or control stick to aim. And the keys are sometimes also farther apart. But I think really the main issue would be the keyboard-only issue. In games that want you to have a mouse or stick. Getting somewhere? You don't have a problem without a mouse? To me it would feel awkward. Bum, ba, dum, ba, dum, ba. Fast grenade redirects do seem like an issue, yeah. But you can like pre-aim them, right? So maybe there's sometimes workarounds you can do. Usually there are workarounds and alternate setups and stuff. Just you have to spend effort in doing the workarounds and finding the alternate setups. Which to me doesn't seem preferable over just having a mouse. That was pretty good. Note of the trick involves 2 grenades at different angles. Yeah, that could get pretty tricky. The reason you switched to keyboard only was because your trackpad on the laptop won't move the mouse if right click is held down. Wow. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-dum. There definitely are huge advantages in playing keyboard only. Like, again, right now I'm doing a left-hand only trick. If I was a keyboard only player, I could much more evenly distribute my binds and do tricks like this with 2 hands. Obviously I'd have to cross coordinate, but it would still just be less physical stress. Imagine actually using the built-in controls of a laptop. Those do be pretty painful usually, yeah. You're just kinda stuck. Yeah, like, it's clearly not strictly better to do keyboard mouse. You give up a lot. You just also gain a lot. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba. I can still map the other half of my keyboard to the same buttons. Yes, that is true. That is a very valid compromise, and I think Phobos is playing like that, where there's just essentially 2 entirely different plans for how to play, whether you want to play a section with keyboard only or keyboard mouse. In that case, I'm just too lazy to do that. Alright, so I didn't have my triple jump there, but clearly and evidently that works. Let's do that. Is almost strictly better? I mean, what does almost strictly mean? It's a weird word to say. You use a different controller layout for Banelink stuff. Yeah, I think on controller... I haven't played that much with controllers yet, but controllers feel strongly limiting just in the way they are built on how you can do different things at once. So I feel like they incentivize different layouts more than maybe a keyboard, mouse, or keyboard only. What was that? Did I stand on something and get stuck on it? Kinda looked like it. Aside from consistent bash angles, it's strictly better. Well, I think there's a very relevant aspect here that's just efficient use of your body and muscles. The mouse, with the way it's built, is good at exactly one thing. Is using your muscles efficiently for exactly one thing, and that is aiming. For everything else, the way the mouse is built is just kind of terrible in terms of optimizing your muscle usage. And a keyboard is way better at that. So playing keyboard only has a certain overhead where you are just able to use more of your muscles more efficiently for precision things and for timings and for, well, everything that's not aimed. Like, that's the reason my grenade jumps in Ori 1 or my sentry jumps in Ori 2 are bound to the keyboard. I move my right hand to the keyboard for those tricks, so like I briefly play keyboard only specifically for that advantage of being able to use my muscles more efficiently. Pressing buttons on the mouse interferes with precision too. I could see multiple ways to interpret that, and I'm not exactly sure which one you meant. At least to me, muscle strain is also a thing. Like, I definitely prefer to do a trick like this where I do everything on the keyboard than everything on the mouse. A keyboard is not very stressful to my muscles. Using my mouse a lot and rapidly is stressful to my muscles. I do wonder how this all looks from Ori's perspective. Like, for a double jump, Ori literally rolls into a ball. Isn't that extremely disorienting? And then like unroll to grab onto the wall. What an incredible creature. Whoops, this isn't gonna work. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work. Ba-dum. Initially played Ozu by clicking on the mouse and stopped that real fast. Yeah, that kind of thing. I haven't played Ozu, but I have at some point played Geometry Dash, and it's the same thing. Where like, initially it suggests you to play using the mouse. I don't know, at least to me it just felt natural that way, but you can't hold that up. You wanna switch to a keyboard key? At least I do. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba. Play mobile Geometry Dash. I have no idea how that feels. I don't think I've ever played a mobile game, so I can't, like, judge at all how good or bad the interface is in terms of muscle stress and muscle optimization. Bum, ba, da, 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 da. So the bottleneck right now is taking just one damage boost on the first stalactite. That seems pretty difficult. Alright. Sometimes all you gotta do is think about what you focus on. So I think what's happening there is if you visually look at that pillar, I think there's a correlation between the rocks and the actual collision, where if I just double jump up that pillar in order to scale it, I land in some kind of nudge where I can't get out of it anymore. And then I get stuck and die. I think that's what's happening there. Like, see this here, this piece of rock? I think that actually exists, so I'm like double jumping into this little cavity. And yeah, that's not good. Use Geometry Dash to illustrate a theorem in your capstone project for your bachelor's degree. Okay. Without further knowledge of details, that sounds kind of hilarious. Visually look instead of haptically look? Sorry, I lost the context on this. I do use the phrase visually look a lot. I guess it's just kind of redundant. But, I mean, you can also say it looks like I'm not gonna make it, and you're not referencing anything visual, you're just referencing how something feels. So I guess it's not redundant. Look does not only refer to visuals. That was very close. Yep, it's getting somewhere. Okay, I can't touch that again. Maybe if I optimize iframes really well, I can. But it do be deadly. Well, the fire is definitely in place where I am right now. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da. Let me bring up the stomp stall region again. How about not? It is time to beat the trick. Mayhaps so. The thing is, there's nothing I can further optimize on this exact setup. So some slight variation of approach is needed. I could get onto that, like even just touch it for a moment, that would definitely make it. Hmm. Tastiel does not have regen. Sad. Then implement it? No, just wait for a modular mod loader. And then use Rando and TAS at the same time. I can't say I would understand the collision here. I think there is some correlation between the visuals and the collision, but it's kind of like here, like, yes, there is a correlation between the visuals and the collision, but it's not very strict. Like, there is a spiky visual and there is a spiky collision, but that's about where the similarities end. If only we had our collision debug. I'm not sure I'd even use it. Like, there is a mod that shows collision, so I could use that. I just enjoy finding out things in the game, I guess. Whoops. I keep not getting my refresh. I'm probably just too high on the wall. Okay, so yeah. I think that spike starts quite a bit higher up than its visuals, which is unfortunate because that makes it harder to reach. But there definitely is a spiky piece of collision there that I could try and use for a double jump refresh. This room is pretty cool, to be honest. Like, it's one of those examples where it's very, very strongly intended to be bash locked, but there's a surprising amount of abilities that prove it's just not. Grenade jumps is an obvious one, although I guess not really obvious. It's pretty cool that that can jump all the way through there. I've done some rocket jumps here before. And yeah, I guess you can also glide triple jump over, provided sufficient health. It's used to be the only bash-locked pickup in Logic. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess there's just a lot of ways to redirect things without bash in this game. insane path added. Well, Ori 2 will definitely always have bash locked pickups because of the bell puzzle. Until you add out of bounds, of course. If you add out of bounds, things change a lot. Whoops, got stuck inside. Oh, that looked to me like I got a refresh. But sometimes visuals deceive. Out of bounds equals get dash, not strictly. That is the easiest way though. Zane would go from 5 paths to like 40. I mean, obviously there's still way more than 40 insane paths, just no one writes them down, and also I'm not sure anyone really understands where Master ends and Insane begins. Maybe, but I sure don't. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, ba. You think triple jump Ginso is the threshold for Insane? Well, I'd like count out the wall jump grenade tree thing because that's not an Insane for difficulty, it's an Insane for being annoying. Between Baneling boss and triple jump Ginso escape, triple jump Ginso escape seems easier, especially because the path has double as much health as you need. Whoops. Ba-dum, ba-dum. So yeah, I guess if you have to try it for hours, it's insane. But like, I'm not sure how many of the paths here would actually be insane then. A lot of them may actually be master. Baneling to Bird Stomp is easier than Ginso Escape. Well, I guess people have different feelings about that. It's pathed with 12 health and ultra defense. I mean, yes, you need 6 health and ultra defense, so it's double as much health as you need. Oh, that was in response to Spine, sorry. I misinterpreted the context. I guess, yeah, like 12 health? Triple jump Ginso escape isn't that difficult, to be honest. Like, you have to know a couple things, but like, even Expert has ridiculous knowledge barriers. And just the execution of 12 health, ultra defense, triple jump Ginso escape is fine. Yeah, but that's why I'm thinking, like, how many of the paths would actually be insane. Master has stuff like Charge Flame or Grenade Stompless, which, yeah, sure, you can do that pretty quickly if you know the setup. But if you actually, like, go there without prior knowledge of the trick and you have to figure it out, you're gonna be there a couple hours, probably. Knowledge is not part of the difficulty consideration for Insane. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. I think I would say that 6 health, ultra defense, triple jump, Ginsu escape is insane, but 12 health, ultra defense honestly doesn't even feel like it belongs there. With some other paths that Master has. Where boss has a pressure component if you don't go fast enough. I know that that component technically exists. I've never felt it, but maybe that's just due to my approach to tricks. I try to minimize attempt times anyway, so I can get the tricks in less time overall. I think I would see a point for Iceless being insane. And it would be a similar point to the wall jump to grenade tree. It's just annoying. And also a lot of players do seem to feel like Iceless is out of place for the Master Path set. Well, writing logic is clearly impossible, because now I have an insane path that personally feels Master to me and a Master path that feels insane to me. Not really going slower or faster with constant bashes. Yeah, I do think that timer is paused while you hold the bash, so like, unless you do weird detours for some reason, or you lose your Baneling entirely and try to recover it. I don't think the timing component there matters. Whoops. Dum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum. Whoops. I'm not sure, like, if the progression is here now. Wait, but there's probably also a skill here, right? Because if Tuen did not know about the swinging platform, if this was just a mapstone, how would you get up to the mapstone pedestals? Bum, ba-dum. Bum, ba-dum, bum. And I guess it would have originally been something that helped you get the grenade. So maybe charge dash or something? I guess then you wouldn't need to swing with grenade anymore, though. I don't know what else helps you get that grenade. Bum, da-dum, bum. Bum, ba-dum. If this is still the same skill as it was in the previous plan, though, then I might be able to figure it out. What the original idea was. I'm not sure my idea of attaching to the outer part of that stalactite is realistic. Maybe this can be optimized further? I'm not sure how though, because if I try to climb higher on the stalactite, I get stuck, and that doesn't help me. And that's just a hard cap on how much I can do there. The thing is, if you got Charge Dash to get that grenade, then you wouldn't need the grenade to swing anymore. So that wouldn't really make sense. I don't know. Ba-dum. Do you remember that message in the early game that said congrats to Sirius for finding the first sequence break? I feel like that should now say congrats to Sirius for finding the first embraces and second and third and I don't know how many. There sure were a couple. Can remember at least 4. I don't think this works. Hmm. So I am certain about this part, I'm certain about this part, and then since the bottom stalagmites do seem to be insta-kill, I'm also pretty certain about this part, and then I don't really say what else I would do. Doesn't matter when I double jump in the air. With glide it matters a lot less when I jump exactly, because glide quickly caps my falling speed. Generally it depends a lot on context though. Just to gain height, the optimal double jumps are whenever I'm at the peak of a jump and would start falling again. Alright, let's try a different type of optimization. Let's try height optimization that might help me to get onto this piece of wall. I think that's what I want. Oh, on this one? Yeah, on this one the glide makes it not really matter. Pretty sure L4 is in Misty. Let me test the thing where they're patched. Yep, they sure are. Game says L4 is not in Misty. So in that case, height was definitely not the constraint. It's more like turning around in time to not get murdered. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. That pause float variable resets when you Alt-R leave Misty through the front. I kind of imagined something like way less fragile. That seems really fragile. But I at least can't off the top of my head think of another way to leave Misty without teleport anywhere we should spend. Do you tumble warp out? I think tumble warps are also banned. But yeah, otherwise that would be an idea. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So this is a weird case, like, a lot of the times when I'm really close to getting somewhere, like on this trick, getting close to the platform, you'll see me trying to optimize it with just the same setup. But I don't think that's the solution here, because I just don't think there's enough optimization space. So really I'm trying to find a different setup that is just slightly more promising. We can rock warp instead of tumble warp. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Oh, okay, that can happen. I don't think I got my double jump refresh anyway. Depending on how the exit Misty part works, I guess you could also try to line up your positioning so that you enter and exit Misty at the same time, potentially, or really shortly apart. That could be another way to challenge the system. For example, def. Well, I imagine the variable would be serialized. Otherwise, you could also just like load into a different save file or all kinds of stuff. Although I guess you could try game storage, but I think game storage tricks are banned. The variable does not persist through def. Yeah, so like, I mean, weird phrasing, but like, I would assume that if you die and the save you get restored on has the variable set, it does in fact persist. So I think the phrasing is a bit misleading. But my internal assumption behind it is that the variable is serialized with your save. So if you restore a save, that save's variable gets restored. Ba-dum. The variable is a randomizer item. Yes, then it is serialized. That's just one method of serializing it. Cool. That setup worked. Let's go. Bum, ba, da, dum. Alright. Also a cool trick. Help! Lava is coming! No! Maybe I should have healed first. Bum, ba, dum. The game already has a state for your current location. Yeah, my initial imagination was that a warp in place? I don't think there was a warp in place anywhere here. This would work if I had just healed before. Is this reload? I think that's on the other side. Well, guess I can't do fun lava chase. Should have been more considerate about my health. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Alt R. Alt R is the easier solution here. I just thought it would be cool to do the lava chase. But I screwed that up. No. Alright, whatever. Okay. So I'm guessing that was the trick Tuan thought about. Not the rapid rock storms in R4. Not the janky platform swinging. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to really long swim again to get to R1L1. But rather the glide triple jump in order to do L4. I guess it's like nice against the players that Tuan does not require the janky platform swing. But I just feel like L4 is not, I don't know, very flavorful. But I guess I still have to get up to the Mapstone pedestal. So let's see what's to be found in L4. Liked how Epic remembered that and I super didn't. Yep. You're a remembering machine? Sure. Alright, so this works, right? I just have to wait for the lava. You don't think being nice was a Excuse me, Floor? I think you kinda misunderstood. That was not the time where you were supposed to break Floor. I mean, I appreciate it, but also you gotta practice that, because that looked really weird. You don't think being nice was a relevant aspect? I mean, if it would just be about difficulty, I don't think that was the hardest trick. Like, and honestly, if you want to give Grenade for the platform, I even feel like Grenade on R4 and then displace the platform up could be a cool way to do a similar thing. Without requiring janky platform stuff. But first let's see what Turan did now. Because who knows, maybe he stripped away whatever skill he used to give here. And I'm gonna have fun doing janky platform displacement again. Let's see. Yep. Alright. So, I'm not sure if there was a skill here before. I'm guessing there was, but really, I don't know. Time to get to the Mapstone pedestal again. Time to climb back all the way up. No, that was not originally a mapstone. Yes, because I collected the original mapstone. But what I want to know is, what was this originally? Okay, this is kind of bad. There you go. Whoops. Ba -da -dum -ba. Now that you have contributed to the panda progression, you get to pay part of the prize money. I don't know, that would seem kind of unthankful, don't you think? Bum ba dum ba da 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 dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum. Ouch! Try a turnaround glide? Or what exactly? There you go, turnaround glide. I tried a turnaround glide. Nothing happened. Maybe I should start from down here for faster retries. For reaching the elemental, a turnaround glide doesn't actually have more speed than just moving, so... How? It sounds like an Ace Attorney case. Turnabout glide? Da, 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 dum, bum, bum, ba, dum. La, 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 da, dum, bum, 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 bum. All right. So I guess if Tune didn't know this before, did Tune incorporate my trick then into the progression? I don't know. I'll have to ask about all this. I'm curious what this was before. Alright, so I'm gonna want some health here. And I'd rather refill it down here than up there. Any health around? Ba-dum. I guess I can maybe accelerate my refilling a little bit here. Ba-dum. It's pretty cool how Horu has a bunch of different music for the rooms. My trick is the new intended way to do it now. Maybe? I just have to ask about the things before I like spread misunderstandings. But yeah, it might be. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. So I guess for my seed specifically, Tuan might have wanted to do it this way, so I still have to do the trick that I skipped through the sequence breaks, even if the trick was honestly easier than the sequence breaks. Whoops. I wonder if there's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he could have, if it really was about my save file state, Tuan could have just done like an entire split. Have I figured out why the pressure plate save is banned? I have no idea why the pressure plate save was banned. I don't remember exactly what was there though. What pressure plate save? So Ruby Yoshi while playing found a glitch where you can do the same thing you do with this lever to get it stuck. How do I not have this map piece, by the way? Just to this platform to have the laser be gone entirely. Honestly, that seems completely useless, but Turin said it was banned, so maybe it's somehow useful. Don't really know. Or maybe Turin just, I don't know. And you have a hunch, okay. How did this work? You know, I would have been completely fine with never having to do this again. Not again, yeah. Like, that's definitely my least favorite trick to do again. I didn't have a problem doing the R4 again, that's fun. But I did not have a need for more janky platform swinging in my life. Wait, but if this is intended, if this would be required now, did Tuin even ever do this himself? Like, wouldn't that break one core concept of the Plandemizer, which is that Tuin playtested and verified it in its entirety? Like, I don't think it's the same thing if I did the trick. I have a feeling that Tuan might have known this trick. I'll have to ask him about it. No point in speculation. Well, it sure don't be swinging. He hasn't decided what to do with R1 energy cell and R4 laser XP yet. Yeah, I feel like the current state is weird. Like, you get into Horu and then the progression is do L4 and then go to the Mapstone pedestal? That's so anticlimactic. Like, I feel like that's kind of a disappointing finish. Oh, let's go. That wasn't so bad. Here we go. I feel like I liked my path. Like, I enjoyed going to R4 for the laser XP and then to R1. But I do think it's a relevant quality of this Plandemizer that Tuin verified it in its entirety. And if Tuin can't do the storms for R4 laser XP, I don't think it should be a part of the progression. I think this is the end. Well, it is the final dungeon. Like, it's like when you're in the Willow's End. I mean, like in the vanilla game as well. There's the final dungeon end, And then there's the final escape, the end. But if the final dungeon is just kind of a thud and a really short piece of progression, where the only interesting thing that happens is, well, I guess the glide triple jump was cool, but it would still be a lot of just janky displays this platform that just, I don't know, wouldn't feel like great design. I guess, yeah, the L4 was cool. I don't think it would be wrong to have that as a part of it. If the stomps in R4 just aren't accessible enough for a subset of players, then maybe don't use that. Especially if that subset of players includes Chuen. But I guess L4 could be like grenade, and then you do the probably originally intended grenade displacement on this platform, or I don't know. Then you'd still have the spike climb. Like, the spike climb here is pretty cool. If we just had grenade for the platform to make sure players get past that, then you have to do this really tall spike climb and the map stone would be at the top. I think that would be cooler. Like, I think the spike climb up here to L1, R1, that was really cool. This would be better, I think, if what was now the map stone would instead be grenade. And then the map stone would still be in its original location. And then grenade wouldn't be a full node, it would be a partial node. Because it's optional. It's supposed to be the hardest plan though. Whether one trick is easier for some people or not is not relevant. I would say it is. Like, I would say at least the definite barrier should be Chuen should be able to do it. I think that should stand. Hi Flo! Welcome! Alright, so I've just done the janky platform swinging the second time. Not sure whether you were there for the first time. And now I'm refilling health here because I want to place a save on those spikes. Unfortunately I took damage, so I might be here a while. There you go. You can save on spikes. You can save on those specific spikes. You cannot save on any of the other spikes here. The Ringo redirect is probably impossible for controller players. The Ringo redirect is, I think... is it my least favorite trick? I mean, there are some RNG tricks that feel really bad. But the Ringo redirect is definitely up there for my least favorite trick of the Plando. And that's one of the reasons. Like, picture Metoxy. Metoxy is trying so hard to get through this Plandomizer, and he's also enjoying it. Like, do you want to... I don't know exactly... I guess he'll have to just switch to keyboard mouse for Ringo redirect, but that's gonna feel so bad. Like, difficulty is not about requiring someone to switch to keyboard mouse just because they played on controller. It's not difficulty. Need to learn cause of commentary. Wait, are you commentating? What are you commentating? Is there an NNB tournament? I'm not up to date with things. NMG, alright. Good luck commentating then. Or switch to your Plandos. I mean, that would feel even worse. I don't know. It's just kind of unfortunate. Oh. Well, now I have more health here. Alright. Saved that chunk of health, so at least I can't lose that anymore. I'll admit it, waiting strats are annoying, but for this very specific sequence here, I would rather have health regenerate and do waiting strats here than have to do the janky platform swing every time. And that's not because the janky platform swing is hard, it's because it's janky. So it's just like RNG, and in a way, it feels RNG. That's how janky it is, and that's worse than waiting. So we put in the map stone and win. I don't think it's quite that easy, but great things will definitely happen when we put in this map stone. So we're definitely gonna do that. Why do I have 2 map stones? So this isn't supposed to be possible. I sequence broke the Plandomizer like 2 times within Horu and got the map stone earlier than I was supposed to, although I feel like what I did was harder than the intended way, so I'm not even sure it really counts as a sequence break. I guess it does, but like... yeah, whatever. And Tuan fixed the sequence break by placing the map stone elsewhere. However, I already had the old map stone, so I just kind of pretended as though I wouldn't have the old map stone and found a new one. Now I have 2 map stones. That's the story. It's not actually possible to have 2 map stones here with a playthrough from start to finish. That's just because I swapped out the seed to the fixed version mid-play. Alright. I'm so glad to have a cool chat that I can talk to while doing waiting strats. Thanks for being here. Ow. Ow. If I debug remove the map stone, is the run invalid? Well, I'm gonna guess that removing map stones is not among the explicitly whitelisted uses of debug, so maybe. Am I stomping the projectile? No, but these spikes are weird. And it felt like stomping on them gave me a greater success rate with landing on them, but maybe that was just an impression that's not true. Ow! Yeah, I don't think the stomp does anything, it just felt that way. It was not true. Oh, that's not optimal. Let's first use both energy and then take this refill. Cosmic, please mod this energy crystal to just drop like 10 energy crystal shards and then I don't have to wait here. Can you do that? I guess it wouldn't help me, but it would help the next player. You'd backup save every single step here. I mean, like, I'd be very surprised. Like, there's no pickups left. I can't sequence break anything if there's no pickups left, okay? Alright, so, reminder, this is a Force Trees Force Map seed. That means to finish it, I have to visit all 3 locations and turn in all map stones. I've already visited all 3 locations. Why am I even refilling? I'm not intending to go further up. I don't know. And I have put in all map stones except for this one. Spirit Flame, Wall Jump. Wait, I don't even have half these skills. Charge Flame, Double Jump, Stomp, Glide, Climb, charge jump, grenade dash loss. So it just removes all skills, regardless of what I have, sure. But it does give me bash. Oh. I think I know what rule this is gonna change. I probably know what rule this is gonna change. What rule? We'll see. Oh, rip. No projectile for me, I guess. Alright, let's collect these two. I think they were just messages, and at the time I didn't have a good way to get back out. Whoops. This was the Storm Triple Jump Glide message. Oh no, this is actually a repeatable. Alright, let's do the mini-boss. Ow. Oh, wait, like, I literally even lost Zen. That's the first time in the entire Plandomizer I lost Zen. Why is this thing still there? Well, that's probably a bug. Because of the thing where this door only opens after you turn in Mapstone 9. Cosmic! Fix your stuff! I wonder if this is what sparked the entire Plando. Because Dune just had to put this into a Plando. It's not something you can control? I mean, I'm sure there would be a way. Warp shots are now legal. This single skill is enough to win. Remember Special Rule 6, the trick must be completed without assistance. This includes both debug and projectile tracking, which has just been given. Will you reach the truth? You tried for a few hours with no success? Yeah. At least you tried. And now the seed is officially dead for controller. I mean, like, aiming specific shots is something you could do on mouse, even if you generally play on controller. Objective, can you reach the truth? Press Alt P, by the way. Formatting is kind of screwed, but yeah. What are warp shots? Warp shots are, at least in the sense of this Plandomizer, if a projectile travels through unloaded terrain. So a very simple instance of that would be Fast Stormblast, where you angle a spider shot like this. And then you go down to... Oops, visual bug, yeah. Unload this terrain so the spider shot can pass through and hit these Kuro rocks. That's a very simple kind of warp shot. However, you can do much more complicated things. For instance, you can take a spider shot to somewhere here and fire it at an angle, something like this, somewhere over here. and then fall down to unload this wall so that it travels and travels and travels. And then at the right timing you enter the Ginso door when the shard is here and load everything around it, and then you catch the shard and use it to get up. It's a way to do Ginso with bash only. So that would be an example of a warp shot. And Tuan has theorized for a while about whether you could use this mechanic in order to do a final escape with just bash. And I would not be surprised if, like, Tuan found out that you could do the final escape with just bash. And that prompted him to want to make a Plando, or like that prompted him to actually want to release the Plando now, even if there were ideas for a longer time. I would not at all be surprised. But he couldn't just have done a bash-only Plando because that was already done multiple times, so instead it's this entire setup of all the difficult tricks into then losing all skills at the end and giving bash. Yeah, this is probably gonna be my least favorite part of the Plando. I'll have to see if I enjoy it. So, I've done bash-only things quite a bit a long time ago. I didn't really have the desire to come back to them, and I don't really have the mindset present anymore for what you do with them. So, right now I can't even check what would be on the final escape, right? I can't get up there. So I guess one problem would be, how do you even activate the final escape? Because if you watch the cutscene, the shot will just be gone, right? There's a lot of problems with this. Maybe you have to activate it and then Alt-R out, and then you can come back with a shot. There's a lot of problems here. Certainly. There's also walls in the final escape, so you'd have to carry shots and break them. I'll have to investigate how Alt-R in the escape works. Like, maybe you can carry a shot, break one wall, Alt-R, return, carry another shot. And I guess one fundamental problem is, what's the best location to angle a shot into the final escape? Stairway did bash, grenade, stomp, escape. Takeaway did bash, teleport to Alt-R. Yeah, I didn't play either of those though, specifically because I didn't really desire to play warp shot tricks. To me, it's unfortunate that the Plandomizer has one, and like, again, I'll have to see if I enjoy it. The final escape is somewhere here, I don't know where exactly. Let me see if I can see myself on the map if I go there. This is also where the, like, unassisted discovery ends. Warp Shot Discovery does want you to use some tools, everything else is unrealistic. Like, you'll want to use coordinates, angles, math. Otherwise you're not gonna have a good time. Do I need the map with Final Escape? The map with Final Escape? Huh. I guess that could be convenient. If it's coordinate accurate. I feel like I can also just fetch the coordinates for the point where I wanna get the shot. At least to begin with. But maybe they'll come in handy sometime, yeah. Terra stitched it together? Wow, that must have been a while ago. Alright, so I can't really get up here. I need a bash target. I assume. Bum, ba, da, da. bum, ba. Let me just sanity check whether I assume correctly. Kind of hard to see with the visual clutter there. Boss flow sure would be useful, wouldn't it? Maybe if I optimize my damage boost, I can get one step higher. Let me just copy this save, by the way. I like how on the old version of the Plandomizer you could have kept your grenade by inserting the mapstone before you get grenade, and then you would just do bash grenade escape. Send it on Discord. Alright, let me see. Oh, it's like with the literal art. It's not really a map. Okay. I mean, yeah, it is. It's just somehow not what I expected. Like in Ori 2, there's just an asset of the map in the game files, and you can insert that at the right place. So yeah, not perfectly to scale probably, but I assume it's tried to be pretty accurate to where you can approximately assume things to be there where they appear to be. Bum ba dum bum. No music at all. It's accurate enough for the any percent warp dislocate. Yeah, like I imagine that's a major reason to use it if you wanna plot out your warp dislocates. So the problem is the standing spots on these spikes appear pretty far apart. So it's difficult to get 2 jumps within 1 damage boost, which is what I'd want to happen here. Because I don't think 1 jump per damage boost is gonna cut it. Well, this is gonna be nothing against the time that I would spend doing warp shots, so it just seems worth investigating. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Oh, I can't open the map here. That's weird. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Bum, ba-dum, bum. I mean, I'll have to like practice the warp shot and stuff, so I guess I can just use that to check what's on the final escape. So the thing is, you also have to get there yourself. So, for instance, this right here is relatively close, and it's easy to unload terrain here by dropping down. But it would have to be checked whether you can make it in time. If you can, that would be a consideration. This would be even closer, but I think there's no chance you make it in time from here. So like, that would be one thing to try. I think Hollow Grove works if you like aim from the teleporter and do the pause to delay your teleport. Would probably fly somewhere through here, but that should be fine with what you load. I'm pretty sure that would work. Does terrain unload if you Alt R? Yes, it does. I mostly was thinking about teleporters right now, though, because Alt-R unloads are banned in usual randomizer gameplay. I guess we could read the rules again, because they are kind of custom rules. Oh my god, Kleber and Joe are racing. I think I'm gonna not do this today. That doesn't seem like a match I really want to interrupt. But let me just like do some setup, do some general investigation and ideas. Warp shots, projector. So this rule was changed. Uri's movement during Stormblast is the only exception. I feel like this is really misleading because you could interpret it as the shard being allowed to travel through the unloaded terrain. That's just the thing I noticed here, though. That has nothing to do with what I'm currently trying to do. Here's a debug. Yeah, it might be that this Plandemizer there's a special case where you allowed to Alt-R Warp Shot. Could be. I don't know anything about Alt-R Warp Shot because I only did play with the usual rule set where you are not allowed to Alt-R Warp Shot. But I guess then you can just do anything. To see which shot is best to use. That needs math though. There's no way this is intended with just TP Warp Shots. I mean, there's a lot you can do with TP Warp Shots. But yeah, it seems like the rules allow you to Alt-R Warp Shot, even though normal randomizer gameplay does not. So I'll just go with that. This still seems too close. I mean, you could still just do this. It would just be easier, you don't have to do the drop down and climb back up. You would aim here and Alt-R and maybe make it in time. So I think that would be the first one I'll try. Alright, so I guess tomorrow I can do science on getting a shot from here to there. That would be a first step. And yeah. Today I'll leave the entertainment to Kleb and Joe, who are doing an NMG race. I assume that's still going on. Hi Random Scorer, thank you for the good luck. So just status update. The Validation XP has changed a rule of this Plandemizer. Warp shots are now allowed. Turin really just wanted to put a really long, exhausting warp shot trick into this. So yeah, tomorrow I'll have to look into possibilities to do something with that. Bum, bum, bum. Hope you will be there to see the final moment. The final moment won't be tomorrow, because warp shots are extremely time intensive to investigate. So there will have to be a lot of work done over time. Thank you for the Ori hug though, and thank you for the good luck. Indeed, Joe Kleb is happening. Alright. I know not every one of you likes Ori 2, but that's just not something we're gonna pass up upon, okay? Bum bum ba dum bum ba dum. Bum ba. Good night then. Night will take a while. But yeah. Alright. Dum So we shall go to Ori Speedrunning, who are doing a no menu glitches race of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It features two of the highest skilled players of this game, although I'm not sure how rusty Gleb is right now, we'll have to see about that. And I think it's a best of 3, so there'll definitely be enough content to watch, and we'll probably get to see a full race as well. So I'll see you over there. And do give the runners some hype. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful day. And whew, yeah, warp shots do be incoming.